Good evening, my fellow sojourners, as we move about on the land. This is what I've been wanting to do for quite some time now, and I've been thinking about it. So I'm going to get down on this, y'all. I'm going to break it down. You've heard me say before in the past how powerful these documents are. So I'm going to give a little introduction to the document and a couple examples of how it is powerful. In our case, with the trial, the alleged trial, the judge wouldn't allow, or so-called judge, wouldn't allow the conditional acceptance to be entered into the record. The reason being is they claimed that what we did was file fraudulent liens in Davis and County with the intent to encumber, people against their real and personal property. And by the language, we didn't do any of that, what they said. Even when the usurpers on the defense side told the judge, look, these aren't, the UCC1 is not a lien. It's not a lien. It's a claim of lien. That's a UCC1, what it looks like. This happens to be a Tim Burchett's. I'll get into that here in just a minute. I got that out. They wouldn't allow it into the record because the conditional acceptance is a contract. And in the contract, it says stuff like, it talks about the judge holding material information and being fraud and all the case law that has to do with the various issues like traffic and then at the back of the conditional acceptance, it says that the Supreme Court ruled that you can lien a man depriving him of the beneficial use of his property without any judicial determination or probable cause. That's not the whole thing, but it's pretty close. So if you can do that without judicial determination, that blows the whole case. Like mechanics do it all the time. So they wouldn't allow it in there because it is the contract. There was 26 witnesses that all said, I don't have a contract with these people. I don't have any business arrangement with these people. And it was all perjury, every one of them. Every one of them except for the one. There was one guy. He was from the Secretary of the State's office that was there to explain what a UCC1 is and the process of it all. The lawyer said, this is a UCC1. It's a financing statement. It's not a lien. The judge was like, okay, we recognize that. And then they continued to call it a lien through the whole process, wrote it on all the manila envelopes that they stuck the UCC1s in. The judge was totally biased, and she stepped on her old saggy boobs that day. She don't realize it, but it's coming. The reason they wouldn't let it in there, and the reason it's so powerful, folks, is it is the contract that would have blew their case completely out of the freaking water. And the minute they would have said, okay, we'll accept the conditional acceptance, even though we believe it's not a legal document, we'll accept it in there, because it would also show that we didn't intend to defraud. We had legal language and case law that proved we could do what we were doing. How is that intent to defraud? But the most dangerous thing on this document, the most powerful thing to us and the most dangerous thing to them, is this right here. Okay? That right there, and I'm going to explain this in a little more detail in a minute, but that right there is with completion of service and designation of witnesses too. Okay? In this one here, you'll notice that it's Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General of the United States during the Obama administration. That's when this was written. And then Hubert III, family of Slattery, who just happened to be the Tennessee Attorney General and who is still today. Okay? When you put them in this document, you just made them your bitch. Okay? The minute they had accepted this document into the record, we would have all came out there into their bogus trial and said, okay, we want some attorney generals subpoenaed. Bring Hubert Slattery. He's just right down the block. Bring him in here. And then while you're at it, call Loretta Lynch up in Washington, D.C., and get her to fly her ass in here. We got some witnessing to do. Because what you're doing is you're serving the attorney generals to be your witness. The Attorney General of Tennessee is Sheriff Blackburn's boss, is the boss of all the prosecutors in the state. Matter of fact, they're the head of the whole so-called legal system. The cops, everything, fall underneath the attorney generals. And they're all executive branch of the government. So there's nothing judicial about any of this crap that you think is. It's all administrative. So you'll do that. And guess what? They contractually agreed to be our witness. This packet ends up on Loretta Lynch's desk. And it says, hey, you're our witness. And, you got 10 days to respond. And they don't. Well, you just contractually agreed that you're going to be a witness. Think about how quick Davidson County's case against a bogus case, alleged case, against us would have held water if we would have had the two big cheeses of the whole system in there going, oh, yeah, we witnessed that. We witnessed that. What do you mean, Cheryl Blackburn? It's not a freaking contract. You trying to buck me, old gal? Yeah, that's where this is at, folks. That's why it's powerful. Okay? And in this case, it just got real. I'm going to share some stuff with y'all tonight before I get into this conditional acceptance. And I'm going to show you how powerful this is. This is a UCC 1 statement that was created. I created this, right? This is what they said we forged. And it came straight from the Secretary of the State's office. This is exactly what I printed off, what they gave me. None of it has been altered to appear as if it's that it's original. It is original. It's completely original. And the Secretary of the State also agrees to that. But if you look really closely at the name that this one is printed out to, okay, that's Tim Burchett. He was the county mayor of Knoxville at the time, but now he's up there on Capitol Hill. He is a representative for the 2nd District in the state of Tennessee. Yeah, Mr. Congressman. You owe me $12 million. Okay, this is the document that they used as material evidence to say that we committed a crime, or I committed a crime. So they had to get a witness. They had to get a witness to come in and talk about this document. Okay? This is from the transcript, so I'm going to read a little bit of this. Okay, this is Tim Burchett, the guy who's the representative. You can Google him. You can Google his name. 2nd District of Tennessee. He's the congressman. Tim Burchett. It says right here, about Mr. Cooper, have you had any business dealings, any relation ownership personally? Tim, this is his answer. No, sir. None of my recollection, sir. No, sir. None at all. Right? Question. With any of these people? No, sir. None at all. Did any of them have any legal basis to file the UCC liens against you? Sir. No, sir. And when you became aware of these liens being filed, what step did you take or have taken on your behalf to remove them? I haven't done anything. I received a letter from you all, to be here. I talked to, of course, the gentleman from the federal authorities. I asked them if there was any precautions I needed to take for these, and they told me, and then he's cut off. As far as financial, he's getting ready to say something. Would have loved to have that. No, as far as any financial, no. Did you turn that over to the Knox County attorney? Yes. And they just told me that I believe they said it was a national movement. And he's cut off again. But as far as the filing against with Mrs. Wright, do you have any questions? This is for Mr. Cooper. The witness. This is the guy who's the congressman now. Can I ask a question, ma'am? Do all those people have representation? The court or the judge, administrator. That's not something we can answer. Their attorneys are here. That's not something we can answer. He just asked this old bitch if we had representation, and she said, that's something we can't answer. Their attorneys are here. The witness, or him. I apologize. Then he's cross-examined by Mrs. Wright. Good afternoon, Mr. Burchett. My name is Lisa Wright, and I represent Austin Cooper. I just have a few questions to ask you. You said that you did not know Mr. Cooper personally. Never met him before, to the best of your knowledge, right? Not to my knowledge, ma'am. No, ma'am. And other than, so you haven't even actually seen any documents. Is that correct? I believe that's correct. Yes, ma'am. Honestly. I get in Knox County. I get sued. My record, I think, was 3 times in 1 year, or 3 times in just 1 day, because I'm at the top of the spear. So, I have lawyers. We just hand it over to them. Question. Yes. So you've only been told Mr. Cooper's name. That's the only reason you would ever would have be the purpose of it generally. Okay. He said, okay. And so I want to ask, am I going to be put onto the screen what has been marked as Exhibit 50? If you'd see at the top there, it has your name and then an address that you acknowledge is your work address, correct? Yes. 400 West Main Street. Is that correct? or that's correct. And then question. And is it safe to say that you don't own 400 West Main Street? That's correct. Question. In the collateral section, could you read that section out loud for us, please? Okay. Here's what this is at. This financial statement covers the following collateral. Claim of lien number CHA 169-218-2-1002 under common law contract number 701517300021561968, October 13th, 2016, in the amount of $12 million and no cents dollars in the money of account or in lieu of the money of account, I will receive without prejudice payment in trust and treasury notes, Federal Reserve notes, or bank draft of the United States, dollars, or whatever currency is prescribed as lawful currency in satisfaction of all debts, public, private, in the country in which this claim was, I think it says filed or something like that, executed, and then a string of numbers. Question. Have you ever seen this document before? No. If you would look at the top of the document, it has a filing date of October 16th. Is that correct? Answer. Top. Question. I'm pointing here. Answer. I see it, yes. Question. And so back down to the collateral claim of lien that is referenced in the common law contract. Do those words mean anything to you? You mean anything to personally or legally? I mean, do you understand what is being referenced? I see that a lien is being claimed under common law and under a contract. Bitch, you just committed perjury. You just committed perjury. You said you had no business dealings, arrangements, or contracts, and then you just read it. And then you try to say you didn't. Oh, Mr. Representative from Tennessee, your ass is grass, and old Christopher Hauser's the frickin' lawnmower. Yeah, buddy, your days are frickin' marked. You're coming home to Tennessee. You're coming home to Tennessee, Jack. Clean out your frickin' office, you bastard. You lying frickin' prick. I got you. Right here. It's in the frickin' transcripts. This frickin' United States representative committed perjury, folks. And so did 65 other people, including my ex-wife. Yeah, I got you. I got you. This is it right here, folks. I'll hold it up here and try to get it in here. That's the description that this dude just frickin' read. Okay? In the UCC1. That's a description. You're going to sit up there and say, you don't have no... most of them either said, I don't have a contract with them. I got some kind of packet sent to my office, like this guy did. I got some kind of packet, and I passed it on. You got something certified in the mail, and you didn't even look at it. You just passed it on. That's the way these freaking boneheads do it. They're clowns. They're clowns. I don't care. My secretary can handle that. Yeah, well, you just blew it, dude. You just blew it. You accepted a contract, threw it over in the freaking corner. Yeah, I'm going to own you. So, that's it, folks. That's the power of this thing. you can bring the freaking attorney generals in on your contract, and they're there for you. I gotta go to Tennessee and freaking do some shit with some sovereign dudes. I gotta go in there and be their bitch for a little while. I'm sorry if I'm a little harsh. I'm a little harsh, but I'm a little bitter from all this, okay, folks? But that's what we did. And his name's right there, folks. Right there. Tim Burchett. These lawyers, they freaking did the best that they could, I guess, from what they had. Seen how we never talked to them at all. They did the best they could, or the best that they were let to do. Yeah, and it's going to come back and bite them everyone in the ass. You got to realize, folks, that Tracy Trott, the commander of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, went up there and committed perjury. Countless judges went up there and committed perjury. You know, but it's their system. They'll probably skate by on it. You know, that's how they do. But this is a powerful document that I'm talking about here, folks, and I'm going to start breaking it down right now. On the first page, most of you guys have these. You'll have Ronald James, or you'll have Lee Harold, or you'll have Stephen Duane. Some of them have mine. I'm missing the first page, and I apologize for that. I'll try and get this, and it's backwards. Playing around with the new scanner thing on my phone. Somebody sent it to me, and yeah, this works. But the conditional acceptance is broke down into 4 or 5 parts. So I'm going to start trying to finish this one up a little quick with this. You're going to have a to and a from on there, and the from is going to be you. This one here, I like to put in the top, folks. I'm going to show you his address because he don't live there anymore. He's in prison. He doesn't even live in the house anymore. Up in the top corner, you got the date, right? I like to do it like that so you can take a pen and put the date in the day you're going to mail it. And then you got a to and a from. The from is going to be your first name, a hyphen, your middle name or your second name, a colon, family of lions, comma, beneficiary, right? And then there's a footnote dropped in there. And down at the bottom it says every taxpayer is assessed to K Trust, having sufficient interest in preventing abuse of the trust to be recognized in the field of this court's prerogative jurisdiction as a relator in the proceedings to set sovereign authority in motion by action. In Ray Bolins, 135 Northwest Rep. 164, 1912, so it's a little old, Supreme Court of Wisconsin. It never went any farther than that, folks. That's beneficiary. So right away this document says I'm the beneficiary. I'm not the taxpayer. Truster and secured party to the Social Security Sesta K Trust, and then you have the all caps name, Ronald James Lyons. Okay, what you're doing is you're identifying everything that's in this. Some people say, well, I thought you said you can only be the beneficiary. You can't make decisions in the trust. What's this thing about a trustor? Trustors create the trust, like missing baby daddy. He creates the baby and then he leaves. You never see him again. I'm going out for a gallon of milk and a pack of cigarettes. That's what the trustor is. It's not a position. It's a creator. The Heavenly Father created you, then he turned you loose. Still has some control over you, though, believe me. And then you put without prejudice. Why do you put without prejudice? Not above the name like you would if you were signing without prejudice. Sign without prejudice when you have to sign something, but you want to reserve your rights. You want to come back later on and say, no, I reserve my rights. The reason I put without prejudice here above the address is because I am not disputing any of the other stuff that's above it. I'm not disputing the date or this stuff that I am claiming is. And then the address. Now what you're going to get into next is the twos. The trustees and their principals, okay? In this case here, there are five people that he's going to send this conditional acceptance to. One's a cop. M, he didn't know his first name, so he put M in period, colon, family of Webb, and M, period, colon, family of Webb, doing business as trustee. And then there's a footnote. Number 2 footnote, okay? Down here it says, a public official is a fiduciary toward the public, including in the case of a judge. The litigants who appear before him, and if he deliberately conceals material information from them, he's guilty of fraud. If you go in there and you say, is any bonds being created in this tribunal? And they say, well, yeah, the bond, yeah, you got the bail bond. Well, how about any more bonds? And they say no. That judge just hid material information from you because there's penal bonds that are created in every case. Every case. So he just committed fraud. He withheld material information. When I went in and said, without prejudice, I, Christopher Allen, Hauser, beneficiary and sovereign, am here under fraud, menace, duress, and extortion, fiduciary Cheryl. This is a Social Security Cess Decay Trust, and blah, 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 went on with it, right? Well, she didn't say nothing. She didn't say a thing, and they won't. Because if they say, no, you're not, well, they just committed fraud because they know you are. So they shut up and acquiesce to it anyway. So you got that. And it's Webb in his human name. You can't sue cops. You can't sue judges. But you can go after them this way. You can conditionally accept their offer as a human. You can conditionally accept their offer as a human, doing business as trustee of the Social Security Cess Decay Trust, your all caps name, because they're creating the offers, creating a trust action, and doing business as their all caps name, and then the badge number, then the address, city of Morristown, Tennessee, a taxpayer. And then it goes back down here to footnote 2 and explains what a taxpayer is. And then you'll notice after the address, you got certified mail return receipt. Okay? You're going to send these out to them certified mail return receipt because of the postal rule. But look, y'all, every one of these things are going to get sent by themselves. The reason you're going to do that is every one of those numbers are a contract number. The guy that I was reading about in his, or was bringing out of the transcripts, he just read his own contract number. Okay? And not only that, when you serve 5 people, they get the other 5 people's contract number. And they also get the contract number for those that are served as witnesses. So in this case, just to make it a little shorter, that's 1. And then there's 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's over on the other sheet. But you're going to do the same thing. Here, the cop pulls him over and gives him a ticket. Okay? Or gives his trust a ticket. Well, because he did that, now you're going to get the cop. You're going to get the clerk of whatever. This happens to be a municipal, Morristown Municipal Court, a taxpayer. Why? Because they're a Cess Decay Trust, and taxpayers a Cess Decay Trust. Every taxpayer is a Cess Decay Trust. So you're getting into their pocket too, their principal. You're getting into the principal's pocket. So then the next one is the city attorney. And then there's a officer of the tribunal, or what you guys like to call the judge. And the last one is the chief of police, because the cop is working for the chief of police. The chief of police is working for the city. You could actually put the county mayor or the city mayor on there too, because he is the head of the city or the municipality. You guys seen it? Let me break right quick and say this. A lot of y'all love the 1099A video. There's 114,000 views on the 1099A. The very first video I put on here and got all this rolling with was the sovereign shutting down the municipal corporation. There's only 23,000 of those, which tells me that 90,000 people that watched the 1099A video never bothered to watch the original one. The original one, folks, is where you learn how to put these assholes in their place. I give a great example of how you deal with these freaking clowns. Shut them down. They all stand around or sit around looking dumbfounded and shit. Why? Because you blasted them. In a nice way. My friend who I got this building from has been over there doing repairs on it. I didn't call them and say we're going to start working. They don't even bother him. He's almost finished putting a brand new roof on the building that the inside of it burnt out. He's almost done putting it on there. He said, Chris, man, I don't see a peep of these guys. I blasted them. That's my place. I own that. I catch you around there, you're going to freaking jail. Not only that, you just made me an offer. You offered to violate your contract with me. I got a contract with those guys. I got a verbal contract, and it's recorded. You hear them say it. Oh, well, we're not going to mess with you. We're not going to mess with you, sir. You do whatever you want to. Hey, I better not see no shenanigans going on. Don't worry, man. Don't worry, man. We're not going to mess with you. Yeah. That's what it's like over there, yeah, Fork. Yeah, he's getting it put back together real quick. Here's some cheese. Get the building in shape. I'm going to sign it back over to him. When you do that, folks, and you buy that property, and for gold and silver, and do a bill of sale, what you do is in a year or two, you sell it right back to them for the same way. And now they own it, and they're out of the deal. That's how you want to get your property out of registration, folks. He's not paying. He went down and paid the taxes for last year, but he's not paying it this year. That's my building. Don't you be down there paying no taxes on some shit you don't own. But yeah, back to the conditional acceptance. So that's got all that. And then you got, with completion of service, I kind of went over that a little bit. That's where you get the attorney generals on your side in this contract. They're going to agree to this, folks. You're not going to hear from them. You're not going to hear from them, at least not yet. We do enough of these, you might. We do enough of these, you guys might. But you got the completion of service, and they get their own contract numbers too. See? Some of these I've had to tell y'all, hey, get Loretta Lynch off of your conditional acceptance, man. She's not there anymore. Hadn't been there. Trump came in and she was gone. That's the way it works. They like to put their own, they got greased up enough for, well, hey, man, I'll support you. You put me in this position when you get in. Oh, okay. They're all scum. Every one of them. I like Donald Trump. I thought he was a seriously cool guy, and I think he did a good job. But he's still a politician. I know I probably pissed some of y'all off, but that's the way it is. I don't care anyway because I don't vote. I don't vote. If you don't like the way the country's being run, don't blame me because I don't vote at all. I don't care. I'm not voting for the corporation. I don't do that. I can't. I'm not a United States citizen. I wasn't a United States citizen back when they took it away, when I never even had it in the first place. So, and then you go into regards, or what it's regarding. What's the document regarding? And in here, it says your offer titled State of Tennessee. uniform citation, then it gives the citation number. See attachment A. The offers that they make you has to be attached. If it's a ticket, scan it, make a copy of it, and send the original with the contract. Anything you send. If it's a letter from the dealership, we can't take your 1099-A. If it's from the mortgage company, we can't do that. Take that letter and then write attachment A on it, or 1, or however you guys want to do it. It doesn't matter as long as you put it in the body of the conditional acceptance as an attachment. All those go in front of the last page. That's the one that's notarized. Okay? All the attachments will go on top of the page, the last page that's notarized, and then put the conditional acceptance on top of that. That's how you print them all off and send them off. When you go to have them notarized, you only have to take the back page. Everyone that you're sending has to go out with a wet signature. Everyone. And then keep a wet signature for yourself, because that's the one you'll send later on to the Treasury in the Treasury contract. And all I got is copies. All I've got is a photostatic copy of my conditional acceptance and everything. The wet signatures go out with who needs them. And then it goes on to say, attachment A, City of Morristown, Tennessee, a trust business entity versus Ronald James Lyons, the all caps name, a fiction. Ronald-James, Lyons, a human and beneficiary of the Social Security Sestica Trust. Ronald James Lyons, the whole, all caps. Accuser, right? That puts you in there. You are accusing these people of crimes. Versus the City of Morristown, all caps, Tennessee. A trust business entity. Trustee, M, period, family of Webb. And then it says all their names. And then when you get done writing their names, just the ones that you're serving, you don't put the names in there of the attorney generals, because you're not accusing them of crimes. You're just witnessing them. They're going to witness that. They're going to be your witness that these jokers have committed crime on you. Okay. And then at the end, et al. In their human being and trustee persons and capacity. Okay? That catches them all. Getting you every which way. You got to do that if you're going to go after their principal. And then it goes on to say conditional acceptance under protest, extortion, fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, treason, conspiracy to commit treason, false arrest, false imprisonment, served by my hand to me, Ronald-James, Lyons, the human and human beneficiary, from the accused, and it goes on to talk about the cop doing business as, and the rest of it you can go ahead and read, but I just kind of want to get into that a little bit. You're charging them with crimes. And not only that, you're charging them with conspiracy, because there's more than one. Even if you're only doing one, like, say, one cop, it's still a conspiracy because you're getting his principal, too. Okay? And it talks a little bit more about the autograph of the secured instrument, because a ticket is a security instrument. They're making money off of this stuff, folks. It says, knowing full well that as the beneficiary, I have no authority to make any decisions for said trust in this military admiralty jurisdiction maritime law tribunal, whose standard is the yellow fringe flag, and then footnote 3, and it goes on to, that's the code. That's the code. It is a military flag. I was breaking that out when I was reading the code in prison. Hey, guys, check this out. And showing it to them. It's a military flag. They can say it all they want. The first 3 days of the trial, they took the flags out of the courtroom. Yeah. Hey, Your Honor, can we bring the flags back in? They're not coming out. Okay, yeah, bring the flags back in. Why, if we come in there and we claim it's a military court, and before you do the trial, you take the flags out, what does that say? What does that say? That says that you agree. Well, let's get them in here. Let's take the flags out, and then we can get them in here. And people go, well, yeah, if they did that, then they could. No, they couldn't, because the bailiff's got a gold fringe flag on his frickin' arm. It's the Four Corners rule. If anybody's interested in that, the Four Corners rule. And then this is for traffic, so it goes on to talk about 11 American jurisprudence, subsection 329. That's interesting. A lot of you already know this. And more about the crimes. The accused hereinafter, conditional acceptance. And then you list their names, their first names. Even the ones that you're serving as witnesses to the contract, you put in that. And then it says, I'm serving this conditional acceptance to the accused and their principals. The accused did willfully and knowingly deprive me of my rights and property thereof. The crimes herein listed, while their officers and cohorts, 1 Webb, badge number 1136, and it's break it down like it is in his name, when you're serving, that the actions against me were and are conspiracy to treason, conspiracy to commit treason, fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, assault, extortion, peonage, theft, unjust enrichment, and conspiracy to impersonate a peace officer and a judge, and embezzlement, among other crimes and toward actions, both against me and the Sesta K Trust, Ronald J. Lyons. And in support, I state the following, okay? Then you go, be it known, and you do the postal rule. That's this up here, folks, the postal rule. That's what you want to put in your letters when you send it, the 1099-A in. You want to put that in there. That lets them know that this is a contract. Bam, you just got a contract dropped on you. And if you want to put in there, this is the definitions of, I noticed that you've been sending me these coupons for years, and this is what a coupon is, and do all those definitions. Put that in there too. You can even put in the letter that they contractually agreed to accept the 1099-A and the coupon as payment. So if they turn around and they come back and they say, we can't take this. What do you mean? You already did. It's contract. You already did. They can't argue that. They can't say we didn't accept it. Well, yes, you did. You agreed. Look, folks, the postal rule, they're not going to move it. They're not going to move. If we do this stuff for the next 20 years, they're not going to get rid of the postal rule. The reason that they're not is because it's used so frequently. All kinds of offers are sent through the mail by the postal rule. Summonses. Could you imagine if all these courts would have to go out there and hand deliver these summonses to people? I had a friend one time, they put a summons on his door. He took his door off and mailed it to the court. Took his door off. You served the door, guy. Here you go. I'm turning over. I'm turning over the door. And then it gets into pertinent law. This is traffic, so it's going to have all kinds of stuff pertaining to traffic. All kinds of stuff. There is no way that you can argue that you need a driver's license to drive. Not with all this law, folks. And not only that, it's constitutional. American jurisprudence and all kinds of... Look. This is one footnote telling you have the right to drive without a license. This is another footnote from the next page that says you can drive without a license. Case law. Here's another one, folks. Case law. Says you don't need a license to drive. Here's another one. That's all case law. You do not need a license to drive. Check this out. You don't have a license. Your trust does. Your trust has a license. And when I got out of prison, child support said they were going to revoke my license because of for non-payment of child support or whatever before I blasted them and paid it all off. So I'm assuming that they reinstated it. But if you look really, I don't even know if that'll zoom in enough or not. That's my license. And yeah, I don't know if it's clear enough to do it. That's beneficiary signature. They accepted that. I got in there and I got to BSing with the old lady in the corner booth. Hey, what's happening, man? Talking about all kinds of stuff, and she was talking on the phone, and I stood out there. Finally went clear my throat, and she turned around and said, hold on, I'll call you back. I got a customer. I said, no, just keep talking, man. Just keep talking. I'm just here to get my license renewed. Here's the paper. And I signed it and everything. And I signed the electronic thing. And next thing I know, she's handing me one out. Thanks, ma'am. Have a nice day. Tennessee agreed. They contractually agreed that old Chris is the beneficiary and that the driver's license is a trust action. From here on out, you want to give a ticket, guess who you're giving it to? You're giving it to the trust. Easiest argument alive. I run off in there and go, hey man, this cop over here gave a ticket to the trust. Tennessee Department of Motor Vehicles agreed that this is a trust action that I'm the beneficiary of. Is it beneficial to give the beneficiary a ticket and take money from him? Or is that malfeasance of office? Dismissed. Have a nice day. You can't have that. I got it. Then we got in here in the pertinent law, we got Tennessee Constitution. I love my Constitution, man. Them guys were smart back in the day. They wrote all kinds of cool stuff. And I just put a few things in here that pertain to driving. Yeah. So you got the pertinent laws, and one thing I really like to use a lot too is the definition of liberty. That's the definition of liberty from Black's Law, and if you read it, it's freedom. The word liberty includes and comprehends all personal rights and their enjoyments. Rosenbaum and Rosenbaum. It embraces freedom from duress, freedom from governmental interference in exercise of intellect, in formation of opinions, in the expression of them, and in acts or in action or inaction, dictated by judgment, freedom from servitude, imprisonment or restraint, freedom of enjoyment and use of all of one's powers, faculties, and property, freedom of assembly, freedom of citizen from banishment, freedom of contract, freedom of locomotion and movement, freedom of occupation, freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the right to earn a livelihood in any lawful calling, the right to immigrate, and if a citizen to return. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. And then I got license in public. Okay. Check it out, man. License is permission to break the law when you read the definition. Permission to break the law. So when is marriage illegal? that you got to have the right to break the law. Marriage license. Oh, Chris hunts without a license. I fish without a license. Drive without, well, I got a license, but it's theirs. It's not mine. Yeah, marriage license is out the window. It took a little while to convince my lovely, beloved wife to do that, but it finally sunk in. We don't need that. Matter of fact, the marriage license came about in the state of Illinois for misogyny. There was a white woman and a black man that went to get married, and they fought the state laws in Illinois and won. So they had to give. They said, okay, we can do this interracial marriage thing, but you have to get a license. And they charged them like a shitload of money for 150 years ago, and told them that. But people came up with the money. Once Illinois figured out that they could make money doing this, everybody got to have a license. Then all the other states fell in line. That's where the license comes about. When licenses first came out, you didn't need a license to be married unless you were white and your spouse is black, or white and Chinese, or whatever the case may be. Then, folks, you get into facts. And I'm going to go ahead and load this one, upload this video, and then I'm going to get back with y'all, and we'll start talking about some facts. All right, y'all hang out. I'll be right back.